Congratulations! You have found the late night fantasy goodies. Your family members, your friends, your allies, your enemies, they've all been talking about it. They got this great show, okay? Fantasy NBA today. Rick Kamla, Steve Alexander. Hello, they invented fantasy basketball and popularized it for you and put a cherry on top. And here we are, 800 years later, still alive, still talking smack and delivering the fantasy goodies to you all. Huge slate of games on Wednesday, and we're going to break it all down. But we got to tell you first about our great sponsor, Bet Online. They continue to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, Bet Online is your ultimate game day companion. They have the largest selection of odds in everything from football, pro and college, NBA, college basketball, NHL, UFC. Bet Online is the number one sports betting source for the new year in all of these realms, okay? From touchdowns to three-pointers to hat tricks. BetOnline has you covered on every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here. And Doc, as you know, and our fans know at this point, we start with the Magic Man of the night. A beefy Wednesday in the NBA, Doc. Who's your Magic Man?
Oh, interesting. I hadn't, dude. I'm sitting here. I watched LeBron James pulling off heroics for the Lakers. Steph Curry doing Steph Curry things with a huge three-pointer against Minnesota to take a 1-point lead with 39 seconds left in the game. I have not even looked at my Magic Man, but I can tell you where I'm going. I'm not even going to look at the other games. This is risky. I could be missing something huge here. I'm going straight to Toronto, dude. They beat the Boston Celtics. Cost me a bunch of money. There's not really a Magic Man there, though. R.J. Barrett had 22, 10, and 8 with a steal, block, and a 3. That's pretty good. Rick, who's your Magic Man? Let's come back to me after you give me yours.
So my Magic Man tonight, Doc, is I just went with him last night. I don't want to do it again, or the night before. I'm going to go with Jalen Brunson for refusing to lose tonight against the Philadelphia 76ers. No Karl Anthony Towns. He had 38 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 3-balls, and made 14 of 22 shots. Obviously, a Villanova guy, a champion there, loves the city of Philadelphia. The city of Philadelphia loves him. And I knew, we talked about this on Tuesday night show, that the Nova Knicks were all going to excel and hit the over on their props, and they all did, including Jalen Brunson. I don't know. I don't even know what his number was, 24 and a half, whatever. He had 38, okay? Like, that wasn't even, really stressful for you at all. That was a rather easy one, a layup, as it were. But I like it, Doc. No cat. Brunson was like, okay, cool. I'll get back to the mode that I was in last year without Julius Randle, where I'm scoring 30-plus points every game. And he's really like taking a co-Batman role, or heck, even maybe a Robin role to Cap. But tonight he was Batman, and he's my Magic Man of the night.
Sometimes I like to go off the rails with these things, and I thought about Keaton Wallace for the Hawks, who beat the Bulls. Keaton Wallace. Who is Keaton Wallace? I don't know, but we're going to find out here in about 5 minutes. I'm going to go with my guy, Dante DiVincenzo. I thought about, there were some good performances tonight, but Dante DiVincenzo, and that game's not even over yet. So maybe they win that game and he actually qualifies. But right now, with 15 seconds left in the game, I've been shouting DiVincenzo from the rooftops. You know this, Rick. You're like, I'm not feeling it. I don't think it's happening. And I'm like, Dante DiVincenzo is happening. So far tonight, of course, his game log's not populated yet. He has like 26 points, 9 assists, a bunch of rebounds. I'm sorry. I'm so ill-prepared for this bit. Dante DiVincenzo is having a game. And we know that Mike Conley's been benched. And DiVincenzo is the guy going forward. 26 points, 6 rebounds, 9 assists. I bet you there's about 5 3-pointers wrapped up in DiVincenzo is still sitting out there in your league, he won't be tomorrow morning. Make sure he's not available in your league.
That's Steve Alexander, the Hall of Famer. I'm Rick Kamla. We're Fantasy NBA today. All right, so he's got Dante. I have Brunson, a couple of Nova guys. So let's keep the Nova thing rolling here. Last night, again, we told you to play the point prop over on Jalen Brunson. Check the box. He had 38. We told you to play the point prop over on Mikal Bridges. He had 23. Check the box. We told you to play the PRA over on Josh Hart. He had 10, 17, and 12. He had a PRA of 39. Way over whatever the PRA was for Josh Hart. Winner, winner, winner. Okay. Cat didn't play, so now we're looking to avoid the 1+1. I think the Knicks might have been like, no Embiid. We've got an opportunity, with Towns injuring his thumb Monday night against Detroit, to get him out of the fight and let the thing calm down here. And this is not a bloodbath type of game. It actually turned out to be that because Tyrese Maxey and Paul George played in this game, but Joel Embiid did not. But we now have to watch for Cat, and hopefully this historically injury-prone player doesn't have a long-term injury here. So Tyrese Maxey and Paul George got back to work. They were both fabulous in this game. Maxey 33, 6, and 6. Paul George 26, 3, and 6. They were great. And Doc, in the previous game, it was Justin Edwards and Jeff Doughton and Ricky Council had a pretty good game. And with these two guys returning, that all got flushed down the toilet.
Justin Edwards still got 35 minutes, so he could have done something, but he just didn't. He took 6 shots, hit a couple threes. Oh, man. LeBron stopping to take pictures with little kids before he leaves the court in a big win. Dude, I love it when these guys do cool stuff for kids. Like, it's my favorite thing. Like, Steph Curry sat out the game the other night. So he had one of his staffers go out and find little kids wearing Steph Curry jerseys and bring them back to the locker room where he hung out with them and just dapped them up. And like, that is the kind of stuff that's what I like about the NBA. Anyway, Gershon Yabusele has not really been popping. We know that when Giannis is out, you play Bobby Portis. It's automatic for the people, right? Gershon felt that way for a minute, but it doesn't feel that way anymore. He played 38 minutes and had 4 fouls, but just 9 points, 5 boards, 6 assists, no steals, no blocks. I feel like he's cooled off a little bit.
Yeah, he has, Doc. There's no question about it. He's definitely cooled off. Here's my theory on it. Yabusele is not a center. He is a forward. He's a combo forward. Is he even a strict power forward? To me, he's a 3/4. He's a slasher, okay? That was the game that we saw in the Olympics with France. We've seen it here with it. But he is the backup to Joel Embiid. And he's playing out of position, and I think he's a little dogged out, Doc. I think his legs are a little wary right now. He played like 38 minutes tonight. He's getting huge minutes. And I'm not saying he's out of shape, but he's a big, bulky guy, and I think he's a little weary right now. I think he's a little bit fatigued. And so if Embiid continues to miss time, what I've learned over the years is that, like, if don't necessarily hit the drop button with Yabusele yet, maybe give it a little bit more time. Because last year, Isaiah Hartenstein started and kicking ass, okay? Then he went through like a 2-week period where it was like, bro, it was like 5 points, 6 rebounds, 7 points, 7 rebounds, 4 points, 9 rebounds. It was like, dude, are you tired? Are you out of gas? And I didn't drop him. I traded him in the Cam Dynasty, and then boom, and he went Anthony Davis line after Anthony Davis line after Anthony Davis line, and I'm like, yeah, I thought he was like tired and worn out and made a rash decision and regretted it. I don't think Yabusele is going to pop this year like Isaiah Hartenstein did last year, but you get the point here, okay? He's in a little bit of a low right now, but this doesn't have to define who he is the rest of the year. Doc, I know you're hot on Toronto's victory over Boston here. So dive into the Toronto side here a little bit and talk to me about the guys that stood out and impressed you most with really an unlikely win here. Boston's fantastic on the road. They always win road games, but they didn't tonight. And in fact, they got beat by double digits.
Well, I was gonna finish up on the Knicks just real quick. No Karl Anthony Towns. They still win at Philly. That's big. And Josh Hart with another triple-double, man. Josh Hart, one of the most underrated players in the association, in my opinion. He loves Tom Thibodeau, and Tom Thibodeau loves Josh Hart. The Boston Celtics, man. Dude, I would have bet a lot of money that the Celtics would win this game in Toronto, just head-to-head, straight up, no points, no nothing. Money line. I'm glad I did not follow through on that. What a boring, crappy box score from the Celtics, except Peyton Pritchard. He's back, baby. 4 threes, 20 points, 4 assists. But he was the only good thing that happened on that whole roster. Toronto, pretty good, pretty fun little box score. Jakob Poeltl, double-double. That's what he does. Scotty Barnes, 18 and 9. RJ Barrett, back in the swing of things, right? 22 points, 10 boards, 8 dimes. All of that was very good to see, in my opinion. And I'm telling you, man, Boston is not the same as they were last year. They're just not. They're losing games they should not be losing.
A little bit of fatigue, a little bit of mental fatigue, complacency. Look, if this were at OKC, if this were at Cleveland, if this were at the Lakers, like, you would have gotten a better performance. To me, this was a boredom game. And Doc, I actually have an even more in-depth theory here. Doc, have you ever been to the city of Toronto?
No.
Doc, I've been to the city of Toronto a handful of times. Does your boy like to go out and experience the nightlife of the venues that I'm in, Doc, over the years? What have you learned about that?
Yes.
I'm a nightlife guy. Okay. I have been out in the nightlife of Toronto, and I'm not a baller like an NBA player. I'm just a dude, okay, with big ambitions. You can have some fun in Toronto. Okay. There's a lot of beautiful women. It's an international city. Okay. A lot of people coming in and out. And a lot of diversity and a lot of options. And they've got a party district. Okay. I'm just saying, this reeks of, yo, let's go get it in Toronto. Oh, we have a game the next day. They just couldn't quite fire up the engines here. But Peyton Pritchard, like you said, that caught my eye too, Doc. He had, let's count it up, 23 points in his previous 4 games, hit for 20 tonight. Shout out to Jakob Poeltl with a perfect game, 8 of 8 from the field. And going back to Boston for a minute, they shot 39% overall, 35% from 3, 50% from the free throw line. They had 97 points. This was a dud. Nobody's tripping on this. Yeah, Boston may have shown a little bit of boredom tonight, but I'm not looking at them any differently in terms of being one of the top premier championship contenders. I still think they're going to win the East and represent the East in the finals again. And I believe they're going to play OKC. So, Doc,
they're going to be better than Cleveland.
Is that a statement or a question?
That is a question.
Yes. They will beat Cleveland, and here's why. Because Boston has a core 4 as well. Boston has bigs. They have Horford and Porzingis and Cornette and Queta. And there's championship DNA. I got to see Cleveland I got to see them slay the Beast. The Beast beat the Cavs last year. I believe it was 4-1. Okay. So Kenny Atkinson, different team. Like, I get all of that. but I need to see that in the playoffs. I would pick Boston right now to win that in 6 or 7 games. I think it'd be a hell of a series.
Before we get out of here, we got to talk about Derek White. Over his last 3 games, he's hit 4 shots. He's taken 25, 23, 4 of 23 over his last 3 games. He scored a total of 15 points, 6, 6, and 3. He's made a total of 1 3-pointer out of 18. 1 of 18 from downtown over his last 3. Slump, panic time. Where are you at with Derek White?
Buy low. I'm at buy low. He's just in a slump. I'm gonna throw out a trade to try to buy low with him right now. I like Jordan. We talked in our preview episode for Thursday about Jordan Poole. Is he going to get shut down? You and I both fear a shutdown for Jordan Poole in Washington. I would trade Jordan Poole right now to get into some Derek White. I think that's a good sell high, buy low. And I think you could actually pull Derek White for Jordan Poole right now.
Wow. That's crazy. I think it's great advice. I like it.
We are the OGs, folks. Rick Kamla, Steve Alexander, Fantasy NBA today, breaking down Wednesday night slate, a massive night in the NBA. Memphis at San Antonio. And folks, the Memphis Grizzlies are healthy and nasty again, okay? They go into San Antonio and beat the Spurs 129-115. Do you know how impressive that is? San Antonio is a very good home team, okay? They always get up for home games. And Memphis is like, yeah, it's cute. You have the Coyote and I got, no. We're beating you down tonight. Ja Morant, 21 points, 12 assists. Desmond Bane had 21. Jaren Jackson Jr. had 19. Aldama had 20 off the bench. Kennard had 15 off the bench. Huff had 11 off the bench. You got some other nickel and dime contributions from some other guys. They are now 10 deep again. Doc's been talking about the red crosses by all their players. Well, most of them have been lifted. And this team, Doc, I know they don't have a great, like their last 8 games, I think they were 3-5 in their previous 8 to this game, right? But they're healthy. How many games have they had Morant, Bane, and Jackson all healthy for the same game this year? Not very many. They do now, and this was a very impressive victory for me tonight, Doc. Not surprising. We talked about this last night, and I said, I kind of like Memphis in this game. I just think they're going to be pissed. Motivated. They've been losing games. They're healthy. And, occasionally we get some of these right, man. So talk to me about Memphis and San Antonio, bro.
Yeah, I never know who to pick, San Antonio or their opponent. I never mess with San Antonio because I just don't know what they're going to do. They're 50-50. Their record's 50-50. They're 50-50 in my mind. That's just who they are. Santi Aldama with 20 and 10 off the bench. Your guy, Ja Morant, playing like a superstar, 21 and 12. Why can't we get that every night? I just don't get it. Harrison Barnes, come on, man. 30 minutes. Rick. It's getting late in the winter in the season. Like, is Harry Barnes ever going to go away?
No.
Are we ever going to allow Keldon Johnson to do his thing again?
No. They are committed to a man named Harry. They are. They went to get him. They should have went to get DeMar DeRozan. They didn't. In the DeMar DeRozan trade, they got Harrison Barnes. I was like, Spurs involved in DeMar DeRozan. Did they get DeRozan back again? He was terrific for Pop a couple of years ago. No, they did not. All right, some other angles on this game, Doc. We said last night a couple of things. You said Victor Wembanyama is going to have a double-double. Remember, Doc? 13 and 12, check the box, chicken dinner winner. I said play the over block prop for Wemby because he had 22 blocks last year against Memphis, which was by far his most against any team. And you piggyback that by saying he's going to have an 8-block game. Literally, we said all of this in Tuesday night's episode, folks. Victor Wembanyama had 13 and 12 tonight, and he had 8 blocks tonight. We don't get them all right, folks, but gosh dang, did we nail that one. And we told you that with Jeremy Sohan out, Stephon Castle was going to have a game. He spiked up, Doc, tonight for 26 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and a couple of threes. And I know you love Castle. You know I love Castle. And as long as he's in that starting 5, he's going to be putting up stat lines, man.
Yeah, Castle was good. No steals or blocks, but that's okay. I was very disappointed with Chris Paul's 8 points and 5 assists. I thought he was going to be better than that. I think had he been distributing the ball better, this outcome might have been different. But credit Memphis's defense, because I think they, played a big part in that. So Devin Vassell was good too, man. Spurs are going to be fun. They're going to be fun.
So in terms of Chris Paul, we talked about this Tuesday night. He was balling coming into this game. 13 and 10, 18 and 7, 18 and 9, and he had 8 and 5 on Thursday. That was not what anybody expected. Doc, let's move on to Hawks at Bulls. We talked a lot about this game on Tuesday night. All right. And then the injury report came out. No Trae Young, right rib contusion. Hopefully that's not a big deal. Jalen Johnson out. DeAndre Hunter out. Zach Risachet out. The Atlanta Hawks started. Where's their starting lineup here? I don't have it. But they started Keaton Wallace, Vit Krejci. Let's see if I can do this here. Clint Capella was in the starting 5.
David Roddy.
I don't have the box in front of me right now. I just have my notes in front of me. It was Roddy, and who else was in that starting 5 for Atlanta tonight?
Dyson Daniels.
And Dyson Daniels. Okay. So Doc, think about this, man. Keaton Wallace goes 27, 6 and 6. Krejci, I got a take for you. Vit Krejci. I picked him up in a lot of leagues today in advance of this game because we were talking about him last night and looking into his stat line a little bit more. Hold on 1 second for me here, please. And I was like, Vit Krejci puts up a good stat line every night, okay? You know who he is, Doc? He is the Toumani Camara of the Eastern Conference. That's who Vit Krejci is. Nobody knows who the hell he is. Nobody's really picking him up or playing him. And he never has a wow stat line. He never is a headliner. But dang it, every night, Doc, he's putting goodies in that box score, man. And Vit Krejci did it again tonight. He had a very helpful stat line tonight.
I am a terrible Hawks fan because Daquan Plowden, whoever that is, hit 7 of 8 shots and 5 3-pointers and scored 19 points for the Hawks. I have no idea who he is. And really, while I know Keaton Wallace's name, I don't think I could pick him out of a lineup if you lined up 7 dudes in front of me. I don't think I know which one he was. What a game he had. And we know the Hawks are not going to tank. So none of these guys are worth looking at except for Vit Krejci. I picked up Vit Krejci in a deep league, and I kind of like it. But he's not a 12-team guy. 12-team guy, you just ignore all this and move on.
I agree with everything you're saying, man. You don't have to keep Vit Krejci on your team. He is a great streamer, okay? A great guy to just scoop up on an off night and put him in there and just get, like tonight, 11 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, and a 3. Again, he's not going to wow you ever with a stat line, but he is going to have these Toumani Camara games where he gives you fantasy gold and it's just the necessary stuff. Okongwu had another huge game tonight, 14, 13, and 7, a block, a steal, and a 3. Holy cow. And I got to give a shout out to Landry Fields, the shot caller for the Atlanta Hawks, okay? This was a Landry Fields victory. Give him the game ball. Keaton Wallace is a Landry Fields guy. You think the Plowden fellow is a Landry Fields guy, okay? Dyson Daniels, the
Plowden gentleman.
The Plowden gentleman. Dyson Daniels, the greatest fantasy revelation in the NBA this year is a Landry Fields creation. Okay. He targeted him in the DeJounte Murray trade. There are others. I won't belabor the point. But this win, the game ball goes to Landry Fields because he has built this deep of a team where even without Trae Young and Jalen Johnson and DeAndre Hunter, and they got a terrible game from Bogey Bogdanovic, and it didn't matter. And you went into Chicago and beat the Bulls. Ayo Dosunmu came back and played tonight, okay? And they played good defense because none of the Bulls really were activated. Vooch had a pretty good line, but Levine and Kobe White really didn't. It was just a very impressive win for the Hawks, being super, super short-handed here. Doc, anything more on this game before we move on?
I tell you what, I have a surprise, a visual surprise that I'm going to go grab in the other room. You go ahead and move us on to the next game while I go grab that, and then I'll jump right back in.
Bet. All right. And I want to tell you guys right now to go ahead and give us a subscribe on the sportsethos.com website. Please go there, sportsethos.com, and subscribe. Also subscribe to the podcast. Leave us a 5-star review. It really helps us out a lot to build this thing. It's already a juggernaut. We're trying to make it into a Goliath, and we need your help to do that. And we love you guys and girls out there watching Fantasy NBA today. Rick Kamla and Hall of Famer Steve Alexander breaking down a big old night Wednesday night in the NBA. Orlando played at Milwaukee tonight, and the Bucks mauled the Magic. Big game for the standings, folks. Really big game. If you're a Bucks fan right now, you're walking around with a puffy chest because your team is back in the top 4 in the Eastern Conference. Like I said, big win. The Bucks clinched the head-to-head tiebreaker over Orlando this year. They're now 3-0 against Orlando this year. Milwaukee is now 4. Orlando is now 5 in the Eastern Conference. They're separated by a half game. Milwaukee leapfrogged Orlando into the top 4 in this game. Okay, that's how big this ball game was. And on Tuesday night, we told you that it would be Dame time. And it was Dame time. Why did we tell you it would be Dame time? No Jalen Suggs. He did not play in this game. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope did, and it did not matter. Damian Lillard had 30 points, made 13 of 19 shots. Had this game been closer, this would have been a 40-piece for Damian Lillard. That's how locked in and lathered up he was, okay? We told you to play the point prop over on him. Clearly a 30 spot is going to do that for Dame. In the 2 previous meetings this year against Orlando, he went 28 on 47% shooting, and also, pardon me, and also gave you 8 assists. So look, that to me was a rather easy and obvious, but hopefully you guys were able to monetize that and make some cash off of it. Doc, what you got on the Milwaukee Bucks absolutely handling the Orlando Magic tonight?
This bad boy off. It is a City Edition Swingman Dyson Daniels jersey.
That's hot, dude.
High quality, dude. Like, this thing is so soft and so cool. My son wanted one of these so bad, and I texted Bobby Rathman, my guy, and I was like, "Hey man, you can't give me a game worn Dyson jersey, can you?" He's like, "I don't know. Let me see." So he came back. He's like, "I haven't heard anything about a jersey. I don't think I can do it." And I was like, "Don't worry about it." So I bought one, paid the big bucks, and it showed up the other day. But then this one showed up as a duplicate the next day. So I don't know if the company accidentally sent me 2, or if Bob sent me 1, or if I ordered 2 and didn't remember ordering the first one. I don't know. But now my son and I both have a sweet Dyson jersey. So I'm all fired up about it.
That's cool, dude. That's very cool.
As far as
did you go through Fanatics for that?
I went to the Hawks store, NBA Hawks store.
Copy that, man.
Because if you don't do that and you go to Dunk or some other random website, could be ordering it from China and it takes it like 3 months to get here or whatever. So I went with what I knew. Not only was it a Dame Lillard game in that Magic Bucks game, but it was a Giannis game too, man. 11 of 15, 26, 11 and 4. Nothing huge. Nothing crazy. He only hit 4 out of 8 free throws, of course. But they both played very well, and they got a big win against the Magic. Like, they had to win this game to kind of show the Magic who's still boss in the East.
And they certainly did. So let's move on to Dallas and New Orleans here tonight, Doc. And pretty much very surprisingly, New Orleans beat Dallas tonight, although without Kyrie Irving and Luka. Okay, I take that back. Not that surprising. This was actually a fair fight. Pelicans win at 119 to 116. And I know Doc is going to call this a bad win for the Pelicans. It's a bad loss for the Mavericks. They're 22-19, and they're so average right now. We know why. The Luka and Kyrie injuries. Shout out to Trey Murphy. When Zion Williamson is out, Trey Murphy becomes a complete and total badass. He went 24-10, 4 assists, 3 blocks, 1 steal, 2 threes. Ooh la la. We have been tracking something for about a week now. DeJounte Murray's spike has led to an absolute crater for CJ McCollum. We have been telling you this. If record and what's at stake still mattered for the Pelicans, I'd be screaming at them to bring CJ McCollum off the bench, okay? Because that was the talk in the preseason. Wow, you have Herb and DeJounte and Ingram and Zion and Murphy. Someone's got to come off the bench. Probably has to be CJ McCollum. Then all these guys got hurt. Wasn't a thing. We're back to it now being a conversation, at least here on the Fantasy NBA tonight. DeJounte Murray goes 37-7. CJ McCollum goes 11-0-2. That's a waiver wire line from CJ McCollum here tonight, okay? And this is not an aberration. This is a trend. This is how this is going, night in and night out. DeJounte goes off. CJ McCollum has a small line. Wash, rinse, repeat, okay? So, Doc, what are we doing with CJ here right now? I mean, I don't, as long as DeJounte is playing, I think CJ McCollum is not a good fantasy player. And you can't drop him. So I'm probably trying to trade CJ McCollum right now and market the statistics that he's put out there so far and hope that the manager I'm trying to trade with doesn't really realize the last 2 weeks for CJ McCollum look terrible.
What an awful win for the Pelicans, right? They win their 10th game of the year. They're 10-32. You guys are playing for Cooper Flag. You cannot be winning games right now. And, you know, some of my people at the other place I work were not in agreement with me that the Pelicans are going to shut Zion down at any time. Like, it's way too early to talk about shutting Zion down. Is it ever too early? Like, did he play tonight? No. Could he come back, play one game, and be like, ooh, my back hurts, and be done for the year? Yes. Do I think that's going to happen? Sort of.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, it's just a matter of time. Like, we're just waiting for the other shoe to blow out.
We're waiting on the Shams bomb, right, Doc?
Waiting on the bomb. The Pelicans have announced that Zion Williamson, yada, 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 yada.
Yeah.
And when that happens, guess what? The other ones are going to fall too. DeJounte Murray, no business playing out the end of the season for this team. And CJ McCollum. I think all these guys are sell highs and get out from underneath them while you can. Why can't DeJounte Murray play well with others? Play nice with others. It's been a rough ride for that guy, and I don't know what the deal is. I don't know. I don't know DeJounte Murray. I've never met him, but why can't he just play along with CJ McCollum? Like, why can these two not coexist? Why could Trey and DeJounte not coexist? I don't really get it.
It's a good point, Doc. CJ McCollum, remember, he played off the ball a lot with Damian Lillard, and he flourished with a ball-dominant lead guard in Damian Lillard. And CJ had really good stats in Portland, and to a degree, they won. DeJounte Murray is I mean, we love him, right? But Damian Lillard is an all-time great. He's a top 75 player. DeJounte Murray is a one-time All-Star. So that's apples and oranges. It's weird. This also speaks to maybe CJ McCollum being a little bored, being unhappy in New Orleans, wanting a change of scenery and all that kind of stuff. Like, all right, I mean, it's the DeJounte show again, so maybe a little bit of pouting or sulking. I don't mean to like a detrimental to the team level, but just maybe he's not really feeling it right now. Like Mikal Bridges last year with Brooklyn, right? It was like, how is he not killing it right now? He's the best guy on this crappy team. Sometimes guys like drift off mentally and they're just not engaged and locked in like they need to be. I think that might be going on with CJ McCollum a little bit here. Doc, we have a Daniel Gafford thing going on. He had 27 and 12 tonight with 2 blocks. Chris Haynes reported that Derek Lively has no timetable for a return from the right ankle sprain he suffered against Denver. And so Daniel Gafford is, Doc, I'm just guessing, probably 25% rostered in Yahoo leagues, maybe less. I kind of doubt he's more rostered than that. He is a must pickup right now with Derek Lively out indefinitely.
For sure, man. We're gonna finally get to see Daniel Gafford do what Daniel Gafford should be doing, and that's balling out. And it's gonna take something like an injury to Derek Lively for that to happen, but we're there. And I'm excited to see what happens because Gafford can be a monster. Dude, he's 72% rostered. 72.
Gafford 72% rostered?
Yeah.
Wow, swing and a miss by me.
So he's probably not available in your league, but do you trade CJ McCollum for Daniel Gafford? Yes. I think I would.
I can't
Who else
do
were
that.
you talking about trading earlier?
We were talking about getting out of Jordan Poole and getting into
Derek White.
Derek White.
Jordan Poole for Daniel Gafford. Let's do it.
Our producer Andre Lemus says he traded Misi for Gafford. How do you feel about that?
I tell you what, I like the fact Misi plays every night, and I like the fact he puts up decent numbers. But Misi ain't gonna have pop games like this. And as long as Derek Lively's out, Gafford's going to go off. And Derek Lively may have a hard time working his way back in. It's out for very long because Gafford's going to go off. I really have a strong feeling about Gafford over the next couple weeks.
Understood. Misi's numbers have taken a nosedive since Zion Williamson has come back. The points, I'll just give you the flow here. Points and rebounds, 2 and 9, 2 and 7, 9 and 7, 7 and 4, 4 and 7. He was a frequent double-double guy when he was rolling without Zion. The blocks have diminished. The rebounds have been okay, but not great. The minutes are flagging here. He's been in the 20s or below in 4 of the last 5. So the arrow for Yves Missi is frankly pointing down right now. I would I do think that Missi has a you know what? I'm not doing it. I'm playing the long game here. I'm playing the long game here. I am not getting all freaked out about the temporary return of Zion hurting Missi and Daniel Gafford temporarily benefiting off of the Lively injury, which may only last a week or two. Okay. So I would rather have Yves Missi for the long haul than Daniel Gafford because what Doc just said, they're going to get their Cooper flag on. Zion will get hurt or shut down. And then Yves Missi will get back to being a Clint Capella type of guy, a double-double guy with about a block or 2 per game. So long haul, simply put, Doc, I feel like when we get to the fantasy playoffs, which are late March, early April, okay? Late March, early April, the last half of March in the first week of April, I would rather have Yves Missi for that period of time than Daniel Gafford.
That's fair. It's fair, but the thing about Messi is the Pelicans can shut everybody down, but Messi's going to keep playing. He's young.
They're not shutting him down.
He's working his way through this, and he's literally the only center they have on the whole roster. So he's going to play till the end. I'm okay with it. But I'm fired up about Daniel Gafford short term. He's going to go nuts.
So it is Fantasy NBA today. Rick Kamla and Hall of Famer Steve Alexander. We're breaking down Wednesday night slate methodically for you. Let's get to Golden State's victory here over the Minnesota Timberwolves. I mean, my God, Minnesota sports. There's nothing like it, man. There's nothing like it. The Vikings lose to the LA Rams. I know Vikings fans, we lost. I'm so surprised. I saw The Athletic puts out a little email, right? Once a day. It's called The Athletic Pulse. It's a cool little thing. It gives you some headlines, goes into other sports, and it's just a nice little 3-minute read, in the morning or whatever. And they said, the Vikings shocking loss to the Rams. Shocking? Have you paid any attention over the last 75 years of Minnesota Vikings football? They always lose these games. Shocking to who? Vikings fans aren't shocked about this. And if they are, they're delusional. Wait a minute. Yeah, they're delusional. They are still shocked about this. You know what I'm saying, though? I wasn't shocked by it, okay? This is why I'm divorced from that team. And this right here, the Timberwolves. Doc, they were on a little roll. Starting Dante DiVincenzo. Feeling good about themselves. Winning games, okay? You're at home against the Golden State Warriors. We have banged on the Warriors all year. The Warriors just lost the game to the freaking Raptors, okay? And here you go, Minnesota at home. We talked about Ant-Man getting fired up for the Paris Olympic reunion with Steph Curry. That didn't happen, okay? This is a bad loss by the Minnesota Timberwolves. And the Warriors, I mean, they're just a malaise, average, mediocre team. They're now 20-20. 10-10 away, 10-10 at home. You don't get more average than the Golden State Warriors. Doc, talk to me about the Dubs' victory at Minnesota.
The Warriors started Guy Santos instead of Gary Payton, instead of Buddy Hield, instead of
Draymond Green
Looney,
out with an injury,
instead of Moses Moody, instead of Lindy Waters. Remember when Lindy Waters was starting every night?
Yeah, he was the guy. Kerr loved him.
Loved him. Now he loves Guy Santos, of all people. Give me a break. Dude, the fact that they're 10-10 away and 20-20, and it's hilarious. As bland as you can be. But Curry hit a big three tonight, man. Minnesota basically had that game won. Curry's like, nope, not so fast. I don't think so. Man, your boy, Trace Jackson Davis, had 15 rebounds and 2 blocks. So there's that. That was good. Curry played well. Wiggins played well. I'm sure I probably had a Wiggins over on 3-pointers at 2.5, and he only hit 2. So I probably lost that, but whatever. Minnesota, man. Dante DiVincenzo, my guy. 28 points, 6 boards, 9 assists, steal, 6 3-pointers. That's exciting. If you picked him up in the last couple weeks, like this is the game you've been waiting for, and you're like, oh, finally, here it comes. I think it's coming. I am all aboard the DiVincenzo bandwagon. There's lots of room. Come on aboard.
And I'm not on the Dante DiVincenzo bandwagon.
You
me and Doc have been
tickets are going to sell out, dude. They're going fast.
Y'all knock yourselves out with that. I'm trying to think who else we've been down this road with. He's escaping my mind right now. But here's my thing with Dante.
Bub Carrington?
Nah, it's not Bub. Schroeder, Dennis Schroeder. Okay, like Doc thought that Dennis Schroeder, and I'm not calling you out. We're right, wrong
You
about
call
stuff.
me out all you want, bro.
but Doc thought that Dennis Schroeder was going to be a thing in Golden State. And I said, no, he's not. He's going to get caught up in the Steve Kerr rotational wash. And I mean, again, tonight for Schroeder, 12 points, 5 of 11, 3 assists, 2 steals, 2 threes. I mean, it's okay. There's nothing to get excited about there. That's a borderline waiver wire stat line. And you look at his game log, and that's about it. That's kind of, it's around there for Schroeder. He had a couple of good games, got people excited, and then went back to this boring stuff. Here's the thing with Dante DiVincenzo. He had a bunch of low-dough nickel and dime games as a starter. I mean, they were okay. They were better than his bench performances, but I was expecting maybe a little bit more. I mean, you're getting 12 points and 6 rebounds and 4 assists and 1 steal and a couple of threes. I mean, okay, it's all right, but I'm not excited about that. All right, Dante popped tonight. 28, 6 and 9, 6 threes. Okay, guess what? It was a reunion or revenge game. Okay, so you can't hang your hat on this. And the other game where Dante DiVincenzo went off, I want to say it was another one of these inspiration motivation games. It was against Memphis, and I'm wrong. That's just a great game against Memphis. He had 27, 10, and 7. But he's had 2 spike games and probably like 5 other games as a starter. So I'm not there. I'm not there with Dante, Doc. I just think he's an okay fantasy player right now.
Guess who Minnesota plays on Friday? Guess who they play on Friday?
The Bucks
at New York in the Garden, baby.
Dante
DiVincenzo,
bro. Well, you and Brewski will be previewing that on Friday, right around noon or whatever. If that's the Friday game. I'll say right now, I will fully advocate Dante DiVincenzo, the over on his point prop and the over on his 3-ball prop. I will say that right now. I don't trust assists with him right now. I don't trust it. The 3 balls and points, I think those are good overplays at New York on Friday night. Little bonus prediction here.
So after the New York game, he's going to have back-to-back, like, really good games. He also had a 27 and 10 against Memphis. Bro, I'm telling you. And now then they go from New York, then they host Cleveland in Minnesota on Saturday in a back-to-back. If Dante plays well in that game, he's officially here. In the game after that, he gets Memphis again, who he just torched. The game after that, he gets Dallas, who sucks right now. I like what I'm seeing. Dante's my guy.
I like the Friday tout, dude, going back to New York. You know he's still butthurt about leaving the Mecca and about the bust up of the Nova Knicks.
He's going to want to hit 10 threes against them.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He set the Knick franchise single-season record for threes last year, and he's going to want to get some. Andre Wiggins... oh my God. Shout out to Andre Lemouche, our producer. I guess that was what we juxtaposed right there. But Andre Wiggins tonight, 24 points. We talked last night. He was 10 points this year in 2 games, 10 points last year in 3 games. Literally right at 10 points per game. And I set a point prop under on Wiggins. My prognostications for tonight were very, very good. We've hit on most of them. I did get that one wrong, so we'll point that out. I did say the over on Ant-Man's point prop, and he frankly, Doc, probably hit it. He had 28 tonight, but I was expecting more from Ant-Man. He might have gone over on his point prop by a half point or like 1.5 points because it's probably around 28. But he didn't play as well as I thought he was going to play. So let's move on here, Doc, to Charlotte and Utah. And let me go to that box score here real quick. And we'll get into some of the pertinence of this game on the Fantasy NBA today. Let's start with the trade, okay? Nick Richards is now a Phoenix Sun. You're like, wait, don't they have Yusuf Nurkic and Mason Plumlee and this Iguodala guy? Yep, they got all those guys, okay? So the trade is Josh Okogie and 3 second-round picks to Charlotte for Nick Richards. Okay, Josh Okogie a former number one, pardon me. At some point, the congestion will cease from this illness that I have had. Josh Okogie, first round pick, 3 second-round picks is a pretty good haul. Okay. This tells me, Doc, that the Phoenix Suns have plans for Nick Richards. And this tells me that they're probably going to start him over Mason Plumlee and Yusuf Nurkic. And this tells me that people probably need to go pick up Nick Richards as soon as freaking possible.
This tells me that my dreams and hopes for Mason Plumlee becoming a thing are probably dead. Probably not going to happen. And guess what? Mark Williams. I'm sorry for doubting this ghost. 31 points, 13 rebounds, 2 steals, a block, 12 of 14 shots. Holy. And that is the Nick Richards absence effect right there. So I'm with you. I think Nick Richards is going to kind of be the guy for at least a few weeks. Phoenix wants to see what they have. They want to bring their shiny new car out of the garage, fire it up, and take it for a few joyrides and see what it can do. I think Nick Richards is a nice get right now.
Nick Richards or Daniel Gafford, Doc?
I don't know. Nobody knows.
What do you mean that we don't get paid for an I don't know?
I know.
Pick a guy.
I was going to talk about it. I was.
All right, my bad. My
Nate
bad.
Bargatze,
My bad.
Nate Bargatze in his SNL George Washington skit. He's like, they're like, how do you spell Fahrenheit, sir? And he's like, nobody knows. And I walk around saying nobody knows all the time. So that's what I was doing there.
Great Allman Brothers song, by the way. Nobody knows.
I think I'm still going to stick with my guy Gafford. But one big Nick Richards start for Phoenix could change my mind. How's that? I'm going with Gafford, but I'm keeping an open mind there. This is a fluid situation.
I got that pick right now. I'm taking Nick Richards. I think the Suns have big plans for that dude. I think they're like, all of our centers suck. Let's go get a guy that we like. All right, so Charlotte and Utah tonight. Let's reel it in. All right, for Charlotte, guess what, folks? Mark Williams no longer has competition. And Mark Williams was the player of the game in a win at Utah tonight. And Doc was right, okay? I don't know if you covered Doc, but you made your point because Charlotte went to Utah and won the game by 5. And I think they were laying maybe 6 or 6.5. Maybe it was 5. I don't remember. You might not have won the ATS, but you made your point, Doc. They won the game by 5. I didn't think they were even going to win this game. Ball was good. Bridges was good. Miller was good. But Mark Williams with 31 and 13, 12 of 14 from the field. So, we really like Nick Richards in a Phoenix uniform. But guess what, Doc? Mark Williams is good to go. And this is what the fuss was about. This is what the overdrafting of Mark Williams was all about. Doc, wasn't he like a 6th and 7th round pick and like going really high in drafts? And guess what? Now those managers are going to reap the rewards.
Yeah, but it was a long wait. And I wonder how many of those drafters of Mark Williams still have him on their team today. I wonder how many of them were like, man, I got to get out from under this guy. He's killing me. He's not playing. So it's interesting. It's an interesting. I don't even know what you call it. It's an interesting thing to look at and think about. But yeah, I doubted Mark Williams. You and I called him a ghost. Like, this guy doesn't even exist. He's a myth. Until I see him play, he's a myth. But everything we've been waiting for is now here. And it just took a while to get there.
It's fun to see, man. On the Utah side, Doc, they had an interesting starting 5 tonight. Obviously, like Larry Markkinen, I think he's retired. I'm not even sure. But Keontae George came back and played tonight. 26.6 assists. And Isaiah Collier stayed in the starting five with him. I picked up Collier in a couple of leagues because I say all the time, assists are hard to get off the waiver wire. It's hard to get an 8, 9, 10 assists per game guy off the waiver wire. Collier has been that guy over the last 5 or 6 games. Boom, 10 assists tonight. He had 11 points, three rebounds, no defense, like not a great line, but he had a double-double, okay? Like he's helping. Beyond that, Bryce Sensabaugh, a mini pop-up to 19 points. Elijah Harkless, who is that? I don't even know who that is. What? Bro, how is my boy Svi Mikhailuk? How is my boy Svi Mikhailuk not playing at all with this ragtag G League version of the Utah Jazz? How my boy Svi Mikhailuk getting a Denipkina tonight? Come on, man.
By the way, I've never heard the term Denipkina, but I like it. Remember when we were kids?
Let me quickly, I'll tell you who coined that. The great Rex Chapman coined DNP-CD, coach's decision. He called it a Denipkina. We were working on NBA TV one night, and Rex and his bold frames and his bald head, he hit me with a Denipkina. I laughed for 15 damn minutes when he said that. Okay, so I've used it ever since. But shout out to the great Rex Chapman for that one, man.
2 things. When we were kids, there was a game where you like flicked a ping pong ball or something, and it was called Gnip Gnop.
I remember that.
Gnip Gnop. And yep. I don't even know what it was, but that reminds me of Denip.
Yeah, Denipkina.
Denipkina. And then Rex Chapman, dude, when I was a freshman, freshman at Hanover College, Rex Chapman was the man at Kentucky, dude. He was a baller.
He was Zion before Zion, right? He was a folk hero in college, man.
He was a folk hero. Him and Damon Bailey. You know, Damon Bailey at Indiana, Rex Chapman at Kentucky. And
your boy Steve Alford, Indiana, he was a freaking folk hero in college.
He was. There were lots of folk heroes at Indiana and Kentucky. Back then, man, Indiana, Kentucky basketball was everything for us. And a lot of Hanover College was small, and it was down like in a triangle between Kentucky and Cincinnati and Indiana. So there were tons of UK fans everywhere. And I was like, I can't listen to these UK fans. The one across the hall would play Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet, 24/7 and talk about Rex Chapman all day long. And I was like, I hate Kentucky. But Rex was a god in college, man.
Really? They were just slippery when wet every single time?
Bon Jovi, start to finish, all day, every day.
Bro.
Yeah.
You can have Nickelback, you can have Creed, you can have Bon Jovi. Bro, I'm so out on Bon Jovi. Dude, I lived in New Jersey for 5.5 years. Okay.
Oh, dude, you got an earful.
Bro. Bon Jovi. I wanted to say that, dude, Bon Jovi is on a pedestal that I can't explain right now with my voice and my words in New Jersey. Okay. New Jersey is all about 3 guys. Springsteen, Bon Jovi, and Sinatra, okay? Somebody is playing one of those 3 guys at all times, okay? And Springsteen's probably at the top of that list. Like, they freaking love Bruce Springsteen out there. He is God to them, okay? I personally, I think Bruce Springsteen's music is really, really boring. I think he's talented. I think he's obviously very successful and influential and stuff, but that ain't it for me, bro. That ain't it for me. Are you a Springsteen guy at all?
Yeah, I'm okay with Springsteen. I don't listen to him. I don't own all his records. Like, one of my good buddies has seen him live like 100 times. I've seen him live. I saw him live once in 1985. I'm not a fanboy of Springsteen, but it doesn't bother me.
Understood. I'm still trying to figure out who the heck Elijah Harkless is. I presume he's Mo Harkless's little brother on the way up here. Third game played for the young fella right there. John Collins and Lowry Markkinen. Who the hell knows if we will ever see them again? It is Fantasy NBA today. Rick Kamla and Steve Alexander. And let's keep it moving here with some more game breakdowns. Doc, you all right? What's up? Where are we going?
I just said Ethos After Dark. Trademark.
Ethos After Dark. All right. Houston bombed Denver tonight, guys. 128-108. Now, before we draw too many conclusions from this game, because we can't really draw any, Nikola Jokic out, right elbow inflammation. Hopefully just a day off for the big fella. Aaron Gordon, after coming back from the injury, ruled out. Not good. This reeks of a Jalen Johnson scenario where you've got the shoulder, you come back for the Laker game, and then you go out, and now he's out indefinitely. When guys are hurt, they go out, and then they come back and they try to play a game, and something happens, and now they're going to miss a longer period of time than even that first absence. That's the vibe I'm getting here with Aaron Gordon. It's a calf injury. They're very delicate and very weird, very hard to recover from. So this might mean Aaron Gordon is going to miss 7 games, 10 games. I don't know. I hope not. But what that means is that the pendulum is going to go right back into the court of Russell Westbrook. Okay? Especially if Jokic is out. But for this game here tonight, Doc, let's focus on the winners first. The Houston Rockets. Another monster game from Jalen Green. 34 points, 5 assists, 6 threes. Şengün flirted with a triple-double as he showed Jokic how it was done. And just another, dude, the Rockets are 27-12, bro. They're 13-6 on the road. Let's go.
They're good, man. I love Houston. Houston is the new OKC, you know, because we watched OKC grow up, and now they're big boys, and their SGA is leading the West in votes, I think, all-star votes, or at least for the guards, in front of Steph Curry. Like, you've arrived, dude. They made it. Houston is that team. Hopefully, like 2 years from now, Houston will be like OKC. So I love to see it. Love the fact that Amen Thompson has been so good. Wasn't sure if he was going to be this good or not, but he's the real deal, man. They've been awesome. And your guy, Cam Whitmore, 16 points, 9 boards. Steal, block, 2 threes. Just keeps on keeping on.
That's my guy, man. Love me some Cam Whitmore. And he has been unleashed with the injury to Tari Eason. Jamal Murray, good game, 22 points. Christian Brown had a good game with 22 points. Russ, kind of quiet, 17 points, but not a lot of goodies from there. Just a dud from Denver. It's like they found out that Jokic was out, and it like took their heart. And they got beat by 20 at home. That doesn't happen very often.
Where are we at with Russell Westbrook? Is he good to go for the rest of the season?
Yes.
ESPN, yes. I saw a headline today. It was like, sell high on Russell Westbrook.
What that tells me is that whoever wrote that article with the return of Aaron Gordon, right? And maybe they weren't able to pivot to the fact that, pardon me, that things didn't go well for Aaron Gordon last night, right? And now he's back on the shelf. That's what that tells me, is that like a development in the NBA hit right as sort of that article was published, and it happens. It happens to us, me and Doc. Like, we do our best. Like, as we're writing stuff, it's all ironclad and it's vetted. But through the publication process, maybe you submit an article at 5 p.m. Maybe it hits the wire the next day at 9 a.m., right? So there's a few hours in there, and between those few hours, some stuff can change. So that's what that tells me. But there's no sell high with Russell Westbrook right now, okay? Like, tonight's line was like, okay, 17 points, I think 4 and 2, but he had 3 threes tonight. He never has 3 threes. He's gonna have goodie lines the rest of the year. There's no doubt in my mind, Doc. And again, it goes back to Michael Malone loves Russell Westbrook. Michael Malone is going to find time for Russell Westbrook.
I think Denver loves Russell Westbrook. Like, he's he might be saving their season. And that might be overly dramatic.
No. I don't think it is, Doc. I really don't think it is.
And something else cool that I saw on NBA TV while this show has been going on. JJ Redick's house burned down in the LA fires.
I did know that. JJ, sending out love to you, man. Can't even believe that.
JJ's two sons were at the game tonight. When the game was over, Wemby and Chris Paul went over and took their jerseys off and gave them to his kids.
Nice.
Cool stuff.
Very cool. Gosh, hard. I listened to JJ talking about that, in front of the media in LA, and he just kind of kept like
can't even
stroking his chin and stuff, and he was holding back tears, bro. You could tell like he was ready to just hug it out with somebody and boohoo cry, man, and like all of his stuff. And he's talking about, his wife, his wife was questioning whether he should take the job and questioning, should we leave Brooklyn for LA? And then they go to LA and bam, everything they own is up in dust. God, it's so heartbreaking, dude. Yeah. So freaking heartbreaking. And I mean, think about it. Like, they're rich. They have a ton of money. They have a ton of things, right? So that was a lot of very valuable, very priceless stuff to them. JJ Redick, hopefully he didn't have all of his like awards and medals and like, I mean, he was a folk hero at Duke, Doc. You know that. I think he retired as the ACC's all-time leading scorer or something like that. He was an absolute monster in college and a hell of a pro for a long, long time. JJ, we're sending love out to you, man. Everybody out in LA impacted by the fires. You're in our thoughts, man, as we move forward and keep bringing you the fantasy goodies. Now, Doc, let's talk about the Miami Heat. And before we even get into the game, I want to talk about the unholy symbiosis between Pat Riley and Jimmy Butler, because this is the most unholy symbiosis in the entire NBA right now. Okay, it is a merger that has negative moral implications, and so we know that Jimmy Butler is going to be traded.
Wow. Just wow.
It's an unholy symbiosis, Doc.
Oh, it is. Oh, it absolutely
is. Riley.
And another unholy symbiosis is you and Andre.
For the win, baby. For the win. Oh, my God. All right, Doc. As we reel it in right here, I needed that laugh. That was hilarious, dude. Absolutely hilarious. Dude, Bam Adebayo played in this game, Doc. Okay, big news. He missed the previous game, and you're wondering, oh, God, is Bam Adebayo going to miss some time here? This is a tough guy, man. Bam Adebayo ain't no Jimmy Butler missing a bunch of games and showing lack of love for the game, okay? Bam Adebayo loves the freaking game. Bam Adebayo, when you're snacking on corn chips, when you're snacking on, I don't know, almonds, when you're snacking on honey roasted peanuts, Bam Adebayo is snacking on nails, okay? This guy plays, and tonight he had 10 points. He had 4 rebounds, 5 assists, frankly, a horse bleep line, but he played. Tyler Hero was great with 34. But let's get to the Lakers because they won this game, Doc, 117-108. And this was a pop for the LA Lakers. Rui had 20 plus. Davis had 20 plus. LeBron had 20 plus. Reeves was firing. Christie had a good game. This was a Laker party out there at Crypto, bro.
You didn't see me hold up the pistachios when you were talking about nuts.
I didn't. I was in the box score and not looking at the video here. Show me your nuts again, dude. Wait a minute. Pause.
I'll show you my pistachio.
Pause. Oh my God, I can't believe I said that. Dude, I love the great value from Walmart. It's cheap. It's very good. I think that's a very smart purchase by you right there. Great value from Walmart.
You also somehow, besides saying show me your nuts, you got out of the Miami game without mentioning Khalil Ware and his 8 points, 11 boards, and 2 blocks in 18 minutes, despite the return of Bam Adebayo. This is the guy, Nikola Jovic, Vit Krejci Khalil Ware. They're all guys that are stream worthy. They might be pickup worthy depending on your league. Keep your eye on Khalil Ware. We said it. We say it every night, I feel like right now. So don't forget about him. Lakers were good. Lakers got a big win. They needed this win. LeBron loves to beat up on Miami, right? Like, he loves to beat Pat Riley. He was fired up after the game tonight, and he was doing cool stuff with fans after the game with little kids. And I don't know, not a lot going on. Everybody played well. Max Christie, I still can't decide if he's a thing or not. He's trying to be.
I think he's a thing, Doc. I do. He's putting up consistent lines. He had 3 threes tonight, 2 steals and a block. That's phenomenal fantasy gold. He had 16 points. You look at the numbers here. He's got 4 straight games in double figures. And over those 4 games, he has 6 stocks. And I don't have the 3-ball count in front of me, but I know it's good. Is he a big thing? Is he a great thing? No, but he is a thing. And I think Max Christie, like, if we're rostering Keon Johnson of the Brooklyn Nets, we should be rostering Max Christie of the Los Angeles Lakers.
And look at what JJ Redick's doing for us, dude. And I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No, go ahead.
But the minutes, and that is Tom Thibodeau-esque. 37, 33, 38, 35, 37 for the 5 Lakers starters. Only 5 guys played off the bench. No, 4 guys played off the bench, and 3 of them played 14 or fewer minutes. Like, that's what we need to see. If you want Max Christie to be a good fantasy player, he's got to play 32 minutes a game. And that's sort of what's happening. Everybody's playing big minutes. So shout out to JJ Redick.
He got this one right. We were early on. The Max Christie thing was like, and then he hit traction and he hit consistency. And so JJ Redick is looking right for that one right there. Jaime Jaquez didn't pop the way I thought he would. He only had 11 points tonight, only took 7 shots. Haywood Highsmith, Doc, I just want to talk about him quickly here. Haywood Highsmith to me is a pickup. Okay, the block and steal numbers for Haywood Highsmith are really freaking good. Tonight he had 12 points, 2 threes, 2 blocks. Let me go into the stocks here over the last 5 games for Haywood Highsmith, okay? He is just awesome, okay? He's got 8 steals in his last 5 games. He's got 4 blocks in his last 5 games. All right, awesome might be strong, but you get the point. Frequently playing 30-plus minutes. He's been 37, 36, and 29 in the last 3 games. And as long as Jimmy Butler is out, Haywood Highsmith is at the minimum a streamer. And if you're lacking blocks and steals in your lineup right now, he's a guy that you can pick up and play consistently and get those goodies from. All right, before we get into Brooklyn and LA, our last game of the night, make sure you download the Sports Ethos app. It's completely free and it keeps you updated on all the news that impact your fantasy NBA teams. Plus, it has the tools that will give you the edge in fantasy basketball. Go to your favorite app store, download the Sports Ethos app. It's free and it will help you to continue to dominate your leagues. Doc, as we get into Brooklyn and LAC, a couple of newsy developments here, and I'll ship it over to you, and you can take us where you want to go. Jordi Fernandez, the Nets coach, said that Cam Johnson aggravated his sprained right ankle during Tuesday's win over Portland. So Cam Johnson's probably now done for the year. Am I kidding? I don't know. I hope. And Derrick Jones Jr. entered the starting 5 for the Clippers, Doc, with Chris Dunn going back to the bench. In a move that frankly makes more sense. Harden's your 1, Powell's your 2, DJJ's your 3, Kawhi's your 4, and Zubats is your 5. I never really understood the Chris Dunn thing. Like on paper, I mean, it's been working. The Clippers have been winning, right? And I am not in here to bang on Ty Lue at all. I love Ty Lue. But this starting 5 makes more sense to me, at least on paper. Talk to me about the Clippers' domination of the Nets tonight.
Did you mention the score? 126-67. It was 75-35 at one point. I think the Clippers came out and went on a 17-0 run to start the third quarter. after they won the second quarter 37-14. Brooklyn sucked at tanking early in the season, but now the cams are gone. The tanking gloves are off in Brooklyn. Like, let's tank it up, boys. Keon, get out there and give me 40 minutes, all you want, because we are going to stink the rest of the way. Oh my gosh, Brooklyn's box score is disgusting. Wow. First time I've looked at it.
Oh,
you cannot read anything into the Clippers box score because the game was such a blowout. Yes, Kawhi Leonard led the way with 24 minutes. Rick's yawning. That's how I feel about it too. Norman Powell played well. Everybody played well. They all played well. Game was complete. Throw away the box score. But Derek Jones Jr. being in the starting lineup, I kind of like it. Chris Dunn left the starting lineup. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And then Kevin Porter Jr. didn't even get off the bench tonight. Maybe he was due for a day off. I've got Derek Jones Jr. in my 30-team lineup. I like Derek Jones Jr. The line wasn't great tonight. I don't think he's a guy you run out and pick up. I think some of the other guys we talked about tonight are more intriguing, a little more upside than Derek Jones Jr. has. But I think it's a good move for the Clippers. Clippers are going to be a valid playoff team. They're going to be good enough that they're going to win some games in the playoffs. They may even upset somebody in the first round, but great win for the Clippers, man. What a joke of a game.
A joke of a game. The Nets had 67 freaking points. Okay, so that's 33 and 26. I'm not good with math, but I'm good with small math. 59-point win. Oh, a 59-point win. They won by almost as many as the Nets scored in this game. Look, Kawhi Leonard by far his best game since coming back. 23 points in 24 minutes, 8 of 11 shooting. He was absolutely fantastic. But like Derek Jones Jr. to me is a streamer. I don't look at him as a guy to pick up. And I don't want y'all rushing to drop Keon Johnson, okay? Maybe the guys were out partying last night in LA. I don't know. This was just a complete anomaly of a game. But I'm not, I still like Keon Johnson. Okay. So don't just like be super rash and knee jerk about this and drop him. I think that would end up backfiring on you. Doc, we are out of time. A beefy 1 hour and 20-minute program because it was like a 17-game night in the NBA tonight. And guess what, dude? We have climbed the mountain. We have conquered it all, and we're done. So do you have anything to tell the people before we say bye-bye?
I don't. I do not. I am done. My throat hurts. My voice is gone. And I need to go night-night.
That's it, man. I do believe we've delivered the fantasy goodies tonight, Doc. I do believe we've delivered it like the OGs only can. Big shout out to Dr. A. Big shout out to our producer, Andre Lemouche. And big shout out to you for staying up late with us, Rick Kamla and Steve Alexander. We will be back on Thursday night after the games to break them down. It's a bit of a light slate, but we'll still rock and roll and still have a very good time. Catch us live on the Sports Ethos YouTube channel or find us on the Fantasy NBA Today podcast feed. Thank you all again for watching. This episode's been proudly presented by Bet Online.